big to go 1-2 on the year. Jennifer Smoak joins us on 365 Sports. What's it like to actually come on the show after winning?
Gosh, it's been so long. I can't, I don't even know how to act right now, but it's exciting. I'm super excited with what my team did last week, and it's good to finally have a win under my belt.
It wasn't even a game. It wasn't even. It was.
Paul, it's all we never know with her.
Look, it wasn't even a game. Jennifer dominated, won by, 60 points essentially. It was ridiculous. So she's good. And look, this week is another favorable matchup for you. But Jen, I gotta congratulate you on you made two big time moves this week. They were really smart. Khalil Herbert and Garrett Wilson. Great moves to add to the bottom of your bench, especially given you've got some questionable guys in that lineup. I might even play Khalil Herbert over James Conner if I were you.
Yes, that's one of the decisions I want to make this week, because especially if Montgomery does sit out again this week or is limited, then that is my decision I need to make, is to put Herbert in, and that's probably who I'll go for, because I did have Connor sit on my bench last week because I wasn't sure how he would perform after coming back from going out early the week before, and Gibson just hasn't been that exciting for me, so I'm definitely excited about what I saw Herbert put up last week. I mean, he was the top fantasy running back last week with 157 rushing yards, 2 receptions for 12 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. So I'm hoping against the Giants defense, who's allowed about 5 yards per carry, for a running back, I do feel like Khalil would be a good person to put in as running back 2 this week.
Jennifer Smoak, fantasy football guru. Who did you beat again? Jennifer?
Sorry, say that again.
Who did you beat?
Last week I beat Tamara, and that's Taylor's sister.
Okay, and so who do you have this week?
Persia.
Okay, well, she's got an undefeated team, right? Isn't she?
No, she's 1-2.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
What
Persia
happened to her team?
Well, it was last year.
Persia, yeah, Persia's the
different
two-time champion the last 2 years. So this year, I don't want to say this because I don't want to jinx myself, but her team this year just hasn't been as strong as it is in years past. They've just been kind of average. But, this week, of course, she has, I feel like she has, this week she has Mike Evans coming back from his suspension. So I expect him to have a big game, and she has Brady. So I'm sure they're going to have a top-performing game up against the Chiefs on Sunday night. And then right now she currently has Jamal Williams on her bench, which I hope she keeps him there because he's due to be the Lions' lead back this week with Swift still injured, and against the Seahawks defense, who's allowed the 3rd most points per game to opposing running backs. So I expect him to have at least a rushing touchdown this week and have a good game. But like I said, right now she currently has him on her bench. And she has Joe Mixon as one of her other running backs, and he's yet to score a touchdown this year. So that's another person, she's due for a big week.
But the game with the Chiefs and Buccaneers, what you would think, Buccaneers play really good defense, but that game could be in the mud, right? Paul, is Tampa a real turf?
No, it's grass.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
grass. It's saturated. They've had all the rain. They had the hurricane kind of just skirt by Tampa, so you never know. That could be a mud bath.
Yeah, I've heard that they don't have too much damage down there, so expecting to play there. But, and the thing about Brady is he really hasn't been, a crazy hasn't put up a lot of fantasy points so far this year. But it definitely should be fun to watch him go up against Mahomes, and I can see it easily being a shootout and a fun game. But I haven't been as impressed with Brady this year. But, again, her team's due to have a big week, all of her players.
Jen, I'm just curious because I you know me, I'm not heavily involved in this, but how does a 42 for 63 for 400 yards, 4 sacks, and 2 touchdowns performance for Josh Allen stack up versus the first couple of weeks?
Oh God, I just
not
can't
good, okay.
say it enough. I love him though. I love him. I was upset that he couldn't get that last touchdown on the whenever they were on the 1 yard line, and I hated to see the Bills lose last week because they're really like my favorite team right now, just because I love Josh Allen so much. But it's funny. It's still not a disappointing week for him. It's like he's just incredible, and I'm super excited about some of these matchups this week because you have the Bills versus Ravens. So Josh going up against Lamar is going to be a super exciting game. Tonight, the Dolphins versus the Bengals. This is the first time that Joe Burrow and Tua have met since November 9th, 2019, when LSU defeated Alabama 46-41. And then, like I mentioned, the Chiefs-Bucks matchup. So there's some exciting games this week that I'm looking forward to. And, it's just, another fun year of football.
So how much do you like Josh Allen?
A lot. He's my favorite player on my team next to Waddle. And we need to talk about Waddle. So last week,
He's a Texas
I had
guy.
I had two of the top 5 receivers in the NFL last week, Waddle and A.J. Brown. And it's like when I was doing my draft, those weren't even two of my most exciting guys that I was looking forward to, and now they're my stars. But the Waddle, it's funny because people talked up the fact that Tyreek Hill was coming to Miami and thinking he was just going to be as big of a star as he is with the Chiefs, and he is. But Waddle is the one that leads the team in targets, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns this season. He's had at least 100 receiving yards in back-to-back games for the first time in his career. Now, he is listed as questionable tonight, and so is Tua, but they're expected to both play. Waddle was struggling with a groin injury, but Waddle has been super exciting to watch, and I do think the Bengals really matched up well against Tyreek last year when he was on the Chiefs, so I think they'll be ready for this team, but I still am hoping that maybe they'll focus more on Tyreek and, give Waddle another over 100-yard game.
Yeah, Jennifer, your wide receivers are killing it, except for Allen Robinson, who's on your bench, and I would suggest, if I can make one more suggestion for your team, there's so many better guys on the wide receivers in free agency, just drop them and pick up any one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm super disappointed. All I heard about before, like during the preseason, was how well people thought he was going to do with Stafford, but we all know how that went when I left Allen in the first week. So yeah, he's been pretty disappointing and hasn't been performing, but I'm sure he's going to be one of those guys that once I drop him, he'll go off. Another position I wanted to take a look at was I have Hawkinson, and Hawkinson finally got a touchdown last week, but he had a season low of 18 yards. So I still am just annoyed with him, but I'm trying to decide between Conklin and Hawkinson. I haven't picked up Conklin yet because I don't have anyone I want to drop except for, possibly Allen. But I also wanted to see how the chemistry is between Zach Wilson and Tyler Conklin before I pick him up, because it will be Zach Wilson's first game back since his injury. So what do you think about possibly picking Conklin up?
Yeah, I don't think that would be a bad move. I mean, there's only, Jacob, what did we say last night on the fantasy show? There's only 3 tight ends or 4 tight ends you want, and everybody else you can kind of figure out. David Njoku's available in your league too. Might not be a bad one, especially while Jacoby Brissett is still playing there. They seem to have some.
What
some
about
chemistry.
Gallup?
He's not a tight end, but
okay. Yeah, of course. I thought you were talking about receivers.
Tyler Conklin. But again, he's in that group of guys who I think he'll probably maybe flourish a little bit with Zach Wilson. But Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson I think that's going to be a good little combination there. In fact, Jacob's stardom sit-in this week had Garrett Wilson on there for that reason. So.
Yeah, I'm excited about Garrett Wilson. That's just what's so hard is I have so many good wide receivers that it's hard to switch those out because it really is just a hit or miss and trying to decide who's going to have the better matchup. It's my running back situation just in that second running back slot that I've got to figure out, week to week right now. But yeah, so far I've been impressed. Finally, Derrick Henry showed his worth last week with 85 rushing yards and a touchdown. And what was exciting was they're throwing him the ball. He had 5 receptions for 58 yards. And usually he's not one that they usually throw to, but I feel like they thought, okay, well, we're not doing well. Let's figure something else out. So it's exciting to see him get some catches, especially with this being a PPR league, because that gets me more points. And he was the number 3 fantasy running back last week. So that gave me some satisfaction for picking him as my first pick. And I'm excited to see what he does this week.
Yeah, you got to let this thing play out. By the way, Sir Blah, blah, blah on the chat room, when I asked about Josh Allen, how much you liked him, he said, no way, Jennifer, I love him more. And then he said, oh, no, wait.
Fight.
Yeah. So,
Jerry.
Yeah. All right. So the fact you won after a year of nothing but losing.
Whoa, calm down.
This is like Kansas. This is like the story of Kansas.
Jennifer, when was the last time you won a game last year?
Dad, it's irrelevant. We're in a new season. We're focused on now, not in the past. Okay? We're focused on now and the future.
All right. Here's from retired stockbroker on chat. David asked Jennifer if I should even start Josh Allen and Cooper Kupp on their bye weeks. He's that good.
First of all, I would be a retired stockholder or stock person in this economy right now too. But okay, ask that question again.
Ask Jennifer, should I start Josh Allen and Cooper Kupp even during their bye weeks because they're that good?
Stop. Yeah, if only points would roll over, that'd be amazing, right? But yeah, no, don't do that.
I know Paul's got his top 5, and by the way, we'd have more time, but they wouldn't stop asking questions in the previous segment.
Yeah, I finally win, and y'all cut me short. It's fine. I understand. I'll talk to y'all next week.
Any dents in the furniture this week? Did the furniture avoid any kind of wrath of Jennifer in fantasy football?
That's a no comment right there. That was a strong no comment.
And you put like patio furniture on your Christmas list, or what are we looking at here?
Yeah, I understand the question.
Well,
what you just said.
You broke a table like a year ago.
Yeah, like
he's asking if you've like dented anything or smashed anything.
No. I've tried to. I mean, I've definitely had some moments where I have gotten mad, but nothing like previous seasons. I've actually been impressed with myself. And this last week, I decided that I was going to stay busy so that I didn't just sit there and just bite my nails the whole time. So that's why this win was even more enjoyable.
All right. What does Oreo do when you start to lose your mind during fantasy football games or NFL games?
She jumps up on my lap and whimpers and like gets really stressed. It's really sad. But like anytime we yell or anything, she comes and starts beating her tail and like shaking and like wanting to know what's going on. But I think she's kind of used to it by now. I think the first few seasons I was playing, she was like, "What's going on with Mom?" But it's getting better. I'm learning how to control my emotion.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. All right. Does Daniel jump up in your lap and whimper too when he has a bad thing happen?
Stop.
Okay. All right.
Let's hit it to Paul's top